Welcome to the Sports Roundup. We're here at Irie on the Square in Oxford. Big crowd in here tonight, as you can hear from the background. We've got a nice crowd. And we're back after a week layoff. We've got the whole gang here tonight. We got the coach, Chicker. Good to have you back here, Coach.
Looking forward to it.
Got our referee, official, president of the association, Fred Johnson.
We're about to get lined up, running, getting ready for football. Got some meetings next week. Volleyball is about to start up. We're still looking for some people who are interested in making some money. All you gotta do is just give me a call and I can get you going.
We'll put your number on the screen here a little bit. And down on the end down there is our color analyst for Northwest football and LaFayette High School football, as well as basketball official Keith Patterson.
I'm glad to be back. And I don't know, maybe I'm feeling a little weak today, but I kind of missed you guys last week. I don't know what's wrong with me, but that's kind of sad last Tuesday. We're not having a sports roundup, but we're glad to have you back from Mickey Mouse, man.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back. It was high and expensive.
Did you get that list of top 10 things to do or not to do in Orlando?
Top 10 lines not to get in.
Well, the lines were not bad, but I can tell you the top 10 things not to do at Disney World. We can talk about that, including $130 buffet breakfast. I'll tell you all about that one. Hey, talking about food, we're here at Irie tonight. It's $5 po' board, as we get set on Tuesday night here about 6:30 every Tuesday night. We eat a lot. They bring us some good food.
I've got an official complaint. It's all Keith's fault.
All right, let's hear it.
We went out, my wife and I went out Friday night, and before we left the town, we had to stop by here and get the crab claws.
I'm telling you, man, those things are awesome. And Patterson, he'll tell you, on Tuesday morning, he talked about missing us last week, but I know Tuesday morning, about 9 o'clock, you start getting ready for those crab claws.
I'm ready for him right now. I don't know why Mark hadn't come over here yet. I've been looking for him. He's been hiding in the back. He knows what I want. It's time to eat.
We've got a big guest here tonight, David Bridger, the vice president of the Forward Rebels, a movement of fans. They really wants to see Ole Miss succeed in all sports. David's going to be joining us here tonight, and look forward to talking to him. A lot of the things, a lot of issues, all the fans of the Ole Miss Rebels can kind of feel where David's coming from. It's been a long time since the Rebels have
Well,
had this success.
they've got the right idea, the right approach to getting involved as concerned fans. They've got great ideas.
And it's a good thing they're meeting with the administration. So we're going to talk about that, but hey, we're going to wrap this opening segment up, and when we come back, we're going to be having our guest David Bridges join us. We're going to be eating a little bit here in Irie tonight. Invite you to come on down. Got any questions? thesportsroundup@yahoo.com. Send us a question. We'll talk about it, whatever you want to talk about. So we're going to take a break. We'll be back with more of the Sports Roundup from Irie on the Square here in Oxford right after this.
The letter X. It's one tough letter, and the only one that stands for something. It's the mark of the unknown factor, the spot of the buried treasure, the model of rugged beauty. But what really sets it apart is its power to multiply everything.
Electrical needs? Then come in to Batesville Electric, where you'll find a full line of electrical supplies. Our professional staff will be glad to help you with all of your electrical needs, whether it's industrial, commercial, or residential. We custom cut your wires from 14 to 500 MCM and everything in between. The next time you need electrical supplies, then look no further than 351 Highway 51, Batesville, Mississippi. Batesville Electric Supply.
Welcome back to the Sports Roundup here at Irie on the Square. Ronnie, we're joined by Keith Patterson. We got a special guest here with us tonight, David Bridges. David, glad to have you here, man.
Thank y'all for having me. Excited to be here.
You are the vice president of the Forward Rebels group. I know a lot of people have heard about it, but for the ones that haven't, kind of explain what you guys are doing.
Well, what we're doing is we're trying to unify the Ole Miss families. This started back in January, where several of us began getting together, and people that we had hung out with, that we had been to the games with, that we go to the Grove with, that we talk about Ole Miss sports with. And we realized that we're talking about the same thing over and over. Why we're not better than we are. And so, we just started putting together ideas of, what can we do to be better? what has been left out of the equation in Ole Miss athletics throughout most of our lifetimes? We're all about to turn 40. We're getting a little bit gray right there. Keith's getting a little gray right there. That's all right. So what we just, as we were talking about this, we realized that in the conversation of Ole Miss athletics, the fans have been left out of that. And the spin-off of that has been years of mediocrity, years of fan disenfranchisement where we become scattered and fragmented. And so what we're trying to do is put together a new movement in Ole Miss athletics and really in the university as a whole that unites fans under one banner so that we can have enough strength in fans to talk to the administration and be involved in the conversations that shape Ole Miss athletics.
Well, that's one of the things I want to ask you. You guys are, and I've joined it, and Ole Miss fan since the 70s when I moved here from the terrible state to the rest of it.
Right.
But you guys have actually had some meetings with the administration.
We have. I guess going back in the winter and early spring, we had some initial conversations, especially with Michael Thompson, who I would have to give a lot of props to. He's got some great ideas, he's doing some great things, and understands that it's going to take the fans for those to work. And so what that has become is really to the higher levels of the administration, Pete Boone, to realize that they want to be a part of this too, and that it's important for them to be a part of this. And so earlier, I guess last week, we sat down with Pete and Michael to sort of lay the groundwork, and it was really good. We had a good response, a good meeting, and started laying the basis of how we as Ole Miss fans can work with the administration so that we all get on the same page and we all start asking the same questions. How can Ole Miss be great again? I mean, back in the 60s and the 50s, when my dad played ball, my grandfather played ball in the 40s, they were great. They expected to be great every year, and they were all with it, and they were all in. So we want to get back to that place to start working with the administration. So we've laid that groundwork, and I feel very encouraged in that, but also very realistic. Okay, we didn't get here quickly. Okay, if you look at the data around Ole Miss athletics, we have 40 years worth of data that says, look, there's a big problem. Okay? In our three major sports, and really most of our minor sports other than tennis, the data says that we're not doing what we need to be doing to be great, that we're missing something. And so, in being realistic, we've got to make sure that as we're talking to the administration that, we're accountable and they're accountable, and that's really the whole goal. And what's been missing is accountability where fans feel like they understand what's going on, they have a say in what's going on, and that they understand that we are doing things to become great and doing things to become excellent. And so, that's the groundwork that's being laid. And I'm encouraged, and I feel that in the next few months, we're going to see what happens.
Yeah, I think you bring up a great point. You talk about expectations in sports. You have to expect to win. You have to come every day, no matter whether you're playing Alabama, LSU. It doesn't matter. The fans have to believe you're going to win. The players have to win. It's just like you said, the teams in the 60s, they knew they were going to win. They just didn't expect to win. They were guaranteed that they were going to win. But you also, with your organization, have to have expectations. What are your ultimate goals? What's your long-range expectations of what this movement is going to bring to Ole Miss athletics?
Right. My long-range expectations are to start winning championships, okay? Now, my long-range expectations are to make Ole Miss great, to where we're the pinnacle of the SEC, okay? Now, that's a tall order to come from where we are now to get to that point.
Right.
So, in that, it's going to take a lot of stuff. I expect our administration to be accountable to us as fans, that they are doing everything that they can do to market Ole Miss, to sell Ole Miss, to make Ole Miss be what those, of us sitting at this table feel like it is.
Right.
My expectation of our fundraising arm is to be very open with our money.
Right.
One of the perhaps misconceptions or perceptions is we can't afford to compete with the other teams in the SEC. Whether that's true or not, I don't know because I haven't seen the books open. And I've tried really hard to find very detailed reports of where things are going. I'm not saying they're not going to the right places. I'm just saying we don't know that.
We don't know.
Along with with that is we don't know what we need then to get there. With my expectations, the finger points at the fans, okay?
Yeah.
We've got to dial back in. One thing that I've come to realize in doing this is that there is a large amount of fan apathy. Okay, when you have 40 years of wandering around, I mean, you know, similar to what the Israelites did, man. We have been wandering around in the desert of athletics for 40 years. And so there's a lot of grumbling that happens.
Right.
Okay? And so the expectation of fans is, look, we have to get back together. And we got to start asking ourselves the right questions.
I agree.
Are we doing our part as fans? Okay? Are we buying into what the administration is trying to do? You know, are we holding ourselves accountable? If we're going to ask our teams to get out there for 3 hours on a hot Saturday, we should too, okay? If we're going to ask our team to mentally dial in before the game, we need to as well. So, you know, the expectations are big, but that's what it's going to take to be big time. You know, the other schools that are sitting atop the SEC, they have these expectations, and they're meeting it. And that's
right.
That's
I agree with that.
I do too, and to kind of change course a little bit. I know, and I don't know your exact feelings on it, but the mascot issue, I think that's divided our fan base a lot. And I want to give credit to somebody that I never thought I'd give credit to. But you look what Dan Mullen has done at Mississippi State. He has taken that fan base and he's united that thing. He put a clock up. He doesn't mention our name. He's got everybody doing it, and we're fussing about what color shirt to wear.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, the mascot issue has been huge. And I'll tell you, this is what I think the underlying dissatisfaction with the mascot issue is. Bigger than just losing Colonel Reb is that I think fans were mad that we really didn't have a say in that. Right. You know, yeah, sure, people got to vote on a choice of a few replacements. But were we really asked and involved, hey, fans, what do you think about Colonel Reb? You know, we have a few people that have come in and told us what they think. How important is he to you?
Right.
We weren't in that decision. Okay, now, having said that, you know, that's done. And you're right, that there are still a lot of people that are being kept back in giving their full emotional support because of that issue. And so what I say to them is, I understand. You know, I get it. You're upset, you're mad. You have a good reason to be mad, but you know, it's time to turn that page, man. We've got to get past that and focus on the bigger thing, okay? Colonel Reb was on the sideline, I believe, starting in 1979. Right. And brother, we didn't win any championships in 79 when he left in 2003.
I couldn't agree with you more. I argue with people this all the time that want to make fun of us because we're the black bear, whatever we are. It doesn't matter what our mascot is. We're still playing for Ole Miss.
Right.
We're still the University of Mississippi. We're the Rebels. Let's move forward as a fan base. Let's go forward. Let's get back in the stands and let's support the team. The kids that are on the field that are out there busting it for 3.5 hours, they're not the ones that took away our mascot. They're not the ones that made that decision. But I also agree with you. Communication from top down needs to come out. What we hear, and we do a lot in Oxford, and we do a lot in Ole Miss, is there's a lot of speculation and a lot of rumors.
Right.
You hear things that happen behind closed doors. But we need the administration, we need the athletic department to be transparent to the fans.